The train case is interesting. It's the most changed map ported from CS2 into Counter-Strike 2. Yes, it's true, and we can see that only from two perspectives in the train. From this perspective, from trailer, we can see that almost every texture is different in comparison between CS2 and CS2. This brick wall now is white. This green is now yellow. This green is now blue. This railway wagons has different colors. New building in 3D perspective. Different building in 3D skybox. Almost everything is changed, and this map is only a reserve map. Why they've put a lot of effort into the map, which is only on the reserve pool? That's why I think that we can get a new map rotation system in Counter-Strike 2. Let's say a little bit about game mode we don't like, we don't appreciate Valorant. The map rotations in Valorant are different than in CS2. The map is rolling out, and after a few gameplay changes and a really small visual changes, it's coming back into active duty pool. Why I'm talking about that? I think in CS2 we had terrible map rotation system where when we had one change every year. That was a problem because we didn't have a time to introduce new maps into the game and in the same time introduce overhaul of the maps which we rolled out before. There was a lot of community maps which were ready to be in active duty. Like for example Iris from Bupkes and Oliver, great map makers. Santorini, Jinchen, Dharma, Lure, Austria, Royal, and many more which I don't remember right now, but every said map was featuring something I would love to see in active duty pool. The maps were good enough to be in pool and be interesting for the viewers and the players. I hope in CS2 we will get a new rotation system. We have now a seasonal ranking in Premier mode. Why we have seasons? How to distinguish season from season. So basically the seasons now, as I understand correctly, it's from major to the major. One season is a period between major and major. How to distinguish the seasons, why we have seasons in Premier mode? I hope because every season will contain different map pool. I mean, one change per major is something pretty interesting which can give us a time to introduce overhaul of the previous maps, not only overhaul, but also a rotation of these maps. For example, we have a problem of Vertigo. We need to change layout somehow. It will be great time to give Vertigo a go, roll it out for one period of season, and see Vertigo in the next seasons. And in time between, it's great time to introduce another interesting map. I hope so, because one change per year, it's not that much. Two changes per year, it can be really optimum. I know what is Counter-Strike about playing maps which you know pretty good. I know that. I love it that people are coming after, I don't know, 5 years break. Someone is coming back 5 years later to the game and he still recognizes these maps. That's amazing, I love it. Because if you wanna play football, you play the same football you played 10 years ago. That's amazing, we love it. That's why Counter-Strike will be and is the best esport of all time. I love it. But in the same time, it will be good to see the maps coming back from the previous seasons and see the new ones, which community creates more and more and more. And there is a few of them which are pretty ready for the active duty. 2 changes per year will be great time to introduce these maps, to buy maps from community. I think the Anubis is a great example. Not every person liked this map, not every person liked Mirage, Nuke, etc. But Anubis, it's amazingly good addition to Counter-Strike. It's a breath of freshness into tactical gameplay from pro teams. And there's a lot more community maps which can be ready to be played on the highest stage of esport. And I hope that Valve understand it. In the first phase of beta, every active duty map was played in competitive mode in Counter-Strike 2, except one. Yes, this is the least changed map. The train is the most changed map from CS2 to CS2, the ported map. The least changed map is Vertigo. And Vertigo is the only map from active duty which hasn't been played in competitive in CS2. Is that a sign from Valve? Don't learn this map in Counter-Strike 2 because soon it's gonna be rolled out. I love Vertigo, but I want more changes. So maybe this will be a sign that the Valve will be rolling back maps which don't need overhaul to be back in active duty, but only a touchstone. Let's go back to the changes. Let's see A side. This is a screenshot from the train from the first days of beta of Counter-Strike 2. It was like March, April maybe. And we didn't see a lot of changes visually, but they only showed us 2 screenshots from the perspectives where we cannot judge differences in gameplay terms. I believe that the gameplay of the train will be changed, and I think it will be changed more than the ancient from CS2 and CS2. In the ancient we saw the new boxes on the city middle and new boxes in K close to B side, but I think the train will be changed more. I hope that the changes will bring closer the train from CS2 into CS 1.6 version, and I think that these changes will be as big as Cobblestone in 2018, when we saw a lot of changes like removing this passage, like changing position of bomb site. I think that we can see more changes on the train in gameplay terms. We can see a lot of changes on A side in visual terms. Almost every texture is different. This wall brick is different. This wall is now blue metal, different sign on the bomb site, different surface, no black and red line, new brick building, no green wall, now we have brick wall. I mean, there's a lot of visual changes, so maybe that's why Valve wanna introduce this map into active duty for a while. So I think Valve with that change, with pushing train into active duty, into premier mode, might show us, hey, let's look, this is the train with new gameplay changes which we don't see now, but we can see maybe in Wednesday. We don't need to overhaul map to bring it back into active duty, but we still will polish it to bring you more. This will be a clear sign that Valve wanna change map pool every season, so every major will be on different map pool. I hope that this will be new politic in Counter-Strike 2. We have a lot of maps, which I said are ready to be in active duty or are pretty close to be ready to be in active duty pool. I hope we'll see more in Counter-Strike 2, a lot of ports from CSGO. For example, we will see Santorini in really close future in Counter-Strike 2. We will see Akiba, Unity, Boulder. A lot of great maps are coming to Counter-Strike, and I think it will be great for the game to maintain legendary maps in the pool, but also bring new freshness into Counter-Strike Saga, like they did with Anubis at the end of CSGO. Thank you so much for watching whole video, and now let's think about the Shatu, Tuscan, and Snowy Cobblestone may be coming into Counter-Strike 2 in close future. I have so much to talk about.